Recently, Brawl Stars announced a ton of changes coming to the game, including a complete revamp to the chromatic rarity and pulling a Clash Royale. This has stirred the community, but this should have seen it coming for a while. In this video, I want to explain the inevitability of Brawl Stars adding more pay-to-win aspects and show the examples of how they're already doing this behind the scenes. Before we start, I just wanted to say that I love Supercell. Brawl Stars is in my top 5 favourite games of all time, and I wouldn't make content on it if it was just a bad game. I just want to see the best in it and see how good it can be. If you enjoy this video, give it a juicy thumbs up and subscribe. I'm trying to get my name out there as the #1 Brawl Simp, so make sure to hit that little button. So to explain how we got to this point in the game, we need to go to the very start of this game's global release. This game started with a very simple monetary system, having 9 power levels which could be upgraded the same way as they are now. After hitting power 9, you could buy the star power associated with that brawler for extra gold, or just get it with boxes. Boxes were very important since they were the main way to get the progression in the game, being the only source of power points, and with that you had no input into who your power points would go to. If you wanted to, however, you could use the other main currency, being gems, to burn your parents' entire life savings on boxes with a chance for new brawlers or upgrades. Gems could also be used, however, to buy tickets for weekend modes and skins. Despite being little to no skins at the time, and then being a little overpriced, they were a main factor for the profit. Without talking about the tokens or star points in detail, that sums up the ways to spend gems in the game. It was as simple but effective. You didn't have a real say in where your progression went if you stayed as free to play, and couldn't unlock everything such as the newest brawler for free, but it was still possible to get everything within a decent time frame. They also added free roles on the side from a trophy road. You could climb faster for faster progression, which we will discuss the impacts of later. This game had and has even more of a free-to-play system in play, which led to these negative effects. The first major event that happened skewing the economy was the Brawl Pass. They changed how tokens worked, adding quests to receive them, but making you need a lot more for rewards. As a result, the rewards were spicy though and more consistent. The paid side of the pass was also added, offering 2 skins and a free chromatic brawler. We'll get to those abominations later. The paid pass costed 169 gems, which is odd considering how both Clash Royale and Clash of Clans had passes too, but costed real money. You could actively unlock the paid Brawl Pass every other season simply by playing the game, which basically gave this update no drawbacks. Since I didn't want this video to be too lengthy, I won't discuss every part in detail, but without pointing them out you'll be missing out on a lot of context on how Brawl Stars changed to cater for the free-to-players even more, while trying to awkwardly balance this with other ways of monetization and keeping up with the mobile game industry. Firstly, gadgets were added, which actually was fully negative for free-to-play since they all costed 1000 gold for being unlocked from a box. Of course, they were fun though, so it's not like a bad addition to the game, just from a perspective of a free-to-play simply having as much free stuff as possible. In the next few seasons they added both Power League and Club League, which had star points as free currency for skins and club coins. Club coins was simply busted for an account, since you could get about 900 for a win at top rank, and 100 power points only costed 60 club coins. The fact you got to choose what you bought showed they were now trying to give players the options on what they wanted. Later on they added the most controversial update, which was probably the starting point of this whole discussion. Power 11 was added, bringing Gaze, which was small buffs to each brawler, and added 2 new currencies. At this point we now had, let me prepare this, gems, gear tokens, gear scrap, coins, power points, star points, club coins, tokens, and as currencies, which was absurd. The cost of Gaze in total was around 4,000 at the time, and many YouTubers spent thousands each trying to get them all. The fact that they costed so much but gave so little showed how Brawl Stars made a very stupid mistake, or realised their economy is just too generous. Later down the road, the trophy road, gears were reworked to cost gold and nothing else, but now Brawl Stars had a huge shortage on gold from everything else they were used for, which wouldn't be helped too much as the updates followed. They did 4 separate things across 3 different updates later to the game, which experimented with different methods to change the player experience. A lot of people consider these changes may have been added since Brawl Stars was discovered to be understandably earning the least amount of money from any Supercell game. Firstly, boxes were straight up removed. I know. They were considered a gacha mechanic, which means they were gambling, which was starting to be banned since they made this new system where players choose their brawler path and predetermined it themselves. They changed the trophy road brawlers to be considered as standard brawlers, which meant they costed credits as well. The second update also helped the economy even more, which was through masteries. This was a free reward system made to reward players for playing a brawl for a certain amount of time. There was little to no drawback again with these economy updates, which showed they care more about the player enjoyment than money in the long run, despite this maybe being a problem for the company and the game team. Bling was added next as a replacement to star points, which in my opinion is the thing that broke the economy the most, despite Supercell's refusal to credit it as the reason, saying it helped grow the game. Just because it added new players doesn't mean it will necessarily positively impact the game for a few years, for example. Bling made all skins free, except for Mythic and Legendary rarity added in the update, using the new Bling system to buy them. This made gems only worth using on the Brawl Pass now, making it even more value than it ever was, while giving free players so much more options. Would you believe it though? The next update was also somehow another buff for the free-to-play players, despite it being small. They added gambling again, because the 9-year-olds got withdrawals and called them star drops. These gave a lot of rewards for winning 8 games a day, but as a result nerfed Power League and Club League by 50%. This is where the community started hating Brawl Stars, even though they had a right to do this since the rewards were too good. And they shouldn't have brought back the crack addiction back, and should have just kept the game having OP rewards elsewhere. Finally though, we get onto modern day, and what's happened as a result of the past. Firstly, Power 11 has been changed to feature hypercharges, which makes the brawlers take whatever the 9-year-olds took in the start of star drops and go hyper, basically breaking the game. Those first dropped in huge pay-to-win packs, which meant 3 players couldn't get them, and then released for 5,000 coins after. Coins were now at an all-time low. With that, they also made the Brawl Pass cost real money, which was the reason I'm making this video. Brawl Stars had messed up, seeing their spoilt community getting everything they wanted while they lost money and control as a result led to them making these changes. They needed to start somewhere, and to get their growth back on track they've done more things to start this, such as making mythic and legendary skins. These are really good for the game since it meant die-hard players and spenders can look cool while they don't have to be limited by bling. They're making more of these than the other rarities of skins, which is good. The paid pass, as I said before, will be great for constant spenders since they can give to one of their favourite games every single month and have a huge buff to progression. As a free to play, I loved getting the Brawl Pass, but every other season it was hurting the economy. It was just too much. The month-long seasons also help since they can provide more value and more brawlers, but can also make more revenue in turn. They reworked Club League with the Mega Pig, which isn't a good change in my opinion since I own a Masters Club, but it certainly deals with the issue at hand. There are no longer chromatics, which can help them make higher rarity brawlers, which is a more subtle way to make money. I'm also just glad they did this since there's so many of them. All of this stuff may sound bad in retrospect, especially since I'm a random guy on the internet shouting about this billion-dollar company needing to and trying to make more money. Crazy, right? I know. But it doesn't mean they aren't compensating. The Mega Pig is supposedly a buff, but I'd debate that. The Brawl Pass is now getting buffed. Power League may get buffed soon, as well as the Trophy Road being reworked since it was in shambles. The changes aren't bad for the community, instead it just leads to a balance of both sides, earning stonks in game and in real life. Overall, I want the state of the game to be good, and if it starts struggling I would not blame the twisted economy system at all. It takes quite little effort to get all the brawlers and get them somewhat high level, but even with that, most players would probably quit before even getting completely maxed. The Brawl Pass still feels too generous, and I feel like the resources should probably be added more to the paid version honestly. The Mega Pig in Club League is odd, and it makes the rewards very random, but it may also be a good step for the game being a slight nerf. The game just needs to offer more to paying players like the Collector's Pack, while slightly circling down the generosity of the free side. With that though, I do trust the game leads, and I have no doubt that they'll keep this game a thriving success for years to come. It is a Supercell game after all, and they're all completely perfect with no flaws. So with that, what do you think of Brawl Stars and its economy? Are there too many currencies? Do you think the game is becoming too pay to win? Or are you just pumped that Cordelius is now legendary? Like, come on, that's the craziest part of a new update. Cordelius is like the 9-year-olds I was referring to earlier because how he's addicted.